up, everyone? How's everyone doing today? This is Mildewy Carrot taking over for Malachi 36. He, unfortunately, as you see, is running away here. We finally got his cam back on, and he can't stand it. He can't stand the just everyone seeing him. No, kidding. He's got some family life taken care of, right? Real quick. So you got me here, Mildewy Carrot, with It's the 9 Ball. Like I said, that's Malachi 36, and we're here for another All Things Gaming. 9 Ball, I'm going to start off with you today because, unfortunately, Malachi left. How you doing today, good sir? How's life going? What you been doing? What you been playing? What you been watching?
Oh my god, dude! It's been getting much better today. It was a good day today, actually. It was a pretty normal day.
We like normal. Woo! Let's go.
We've been
Look who came back, folks.
yeah, he's back.
You can all finally see
from the visual back from the dead, from the visual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been a long journey. But on over back to you, 9 Ball. You saying normal is good?
Yeah, I've been game wise, like I said, I need to just go ahead and be control, but I've been playing that from time to time. Been watching a lot of movies because I'm about to probably go see Evil Dead Rise, but been watching movies, catching up, like I said, on Berserk. I've been catching up on Berserk. Anime wise, nothing yet. I'm waiting on my niece, or I might start up finally Demon Slayer, because it's been God knows how long since I haven't retouched that. It's been in the back of the closet for like eons. But I'm first gonna go through Berserk. Most of my shows are over. I did pick up Ori and the Blind Forest. It was like $5, so I picked up Ori, and all those because I've been hearing nothing but great things about those games. And of course, outside of that, just been gaming with Mildewy, Abs, and Gravity, all on the Phasmo and Sons of the Forest.
Fantastic. And kind of jumping in here now. I know. First and foremost, shout out to you there, Mildew, for taking over for me for that brief little bit.
I choked.
No, you're good. Yeah. So again, welcome to All Things Game, everybody. Episode 11 for April 25th, 2023. Yeah, we are here back for our podcast, everything like that. We just came off of a weekend of our first 9 to 5 in a while. I think it's our first one for 2023, to be honest with you. And that video is actually still uploading up on YouTube as we speak. It's been there for a while. It's like an 8-hour video, but I promise you it's worth it. Yeah, I'm 82% finished of uploading it. So I would say probably at some point tomorrow it'll be fully uploaded and all that good stuff. And it should have an HD version as well, because I did go ahead and like kind of mirror the two breaks together and all that good stuff. So if you guys are going to be checking it out, make sure you guys are checking us out at Least We Try Gaming on YouTube. Just put it inside the search bar, or All Things Gaming, or ALWT Gaming, 9 to 5 segment, the Division 2, all that good stuff. You hear our thoughts about it. We'll be talking about it. Well, we talked about it previously afterwards, and yeah, it's a good time. But I want to pass the ball on over to you, Mildewy Carrot. What have you been playing? What have you been doing? What have you been watching? What has been new with you? And how are you doing today?
Doing okay. A little discombobulated. Had to do a change of shift to help cover for a coworker. So I worked this past Sunday, and now I'm like, wait, what day is it? Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? I have no clue. So, So yeah, that's been kind of fun dealing with. In terms of playing, like 9 Ball said, been playing Phasmophobia, Sons of Force with him, Hates Abs, Gravity. On that route, just side noting real quick, 9 Ball, you gotta check out the new updates for Demonologist. Holy crap!
Oh yeah, we got a starter on that.
Yeah, like dude, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for that one. Like, see if we can get Hates Abs and Gravity on that. Malachi should join us, but we definitely know he's not.
One day he will.
I know who he's talking to.
You, it's behind you. It's a whisper. No, I'm kidding. Other than that, I've also been playing some 2 new games that came out that were on my list for like resource management sims and all. Plan B Terraform, which is pretty much a game where you are in charge of terraforming a planet by using the resources on it and trying to get it to livable levels while growing cities on it. And then another one's called Fabledom, which is pretty much where you're like in charge of your own like little kingdom, and you're just trying to raise it up, get your people working, getting resources, food, supplies, and then right now it's got some basic interactions with some other like little mini islands or mini other kingdoms that are in the game, but there's not much because it is still early access. So looking forward to more as that goes up, and then also retouching on going medieval. Been having some more fun with that, just getting things leveled up and waiting for more updates to come through on a lot of these games that I play. So I play like a lot of early accesses, and then just keeping my eye out on some stuff that's coming out and just seeing what's in the plans, what's in the works, what people are thinking about liking, and then also getting back on some Yu-Gi-Oh finally after a good long while.
Heard that. Yeah, I've been up to a lot lately, to be honest with you. First and foremost, I want to start off with the fashion
No.
sense. Yes, I want to start off with the fashion sense. So
No, please don't. Please don't.
so I think I mentioned this before on previous streams, but here in like next 3 weeks, 2 weeks, I'll be heading off to Jamaica. And so with that, I kind of got a couple of clothes and everything like that to be out there for the first time. At least the first time as an adult. I can't remember if I've been there as a kid because again, I used to go to Barbados all the time. And I think we made the occasional trip to Jamaica too whenever we would kind of be heading out that way. So I genuinely can't remember. I'm pretty
You don't
sure.
know?
Yeah, I don't remember. If I did go to Jamaica, I was like a baby. Like I don't remember a thing from it. But this will be my first time as an adult with knowledge of it and everything like that. So I'm very excited about that. So what I'm wearing right now, so lately I've been actually ordering a lot of stuff from a site called Boohoo Man. And yes, it sounds like you're crying. It's Boohoo Man. And it has a lot
I was
of
about
gear.
to say, like, wait a minute, it's supposed to be Boho Man or something?
No, it's Boohoo. That's legitimately Boohoo. I don't know what the purpose is behind the name, but they have a couple brands that literally say official and one that says man, and then another one that are like some they also have some like licensed stuff. So you'll actually see one with Gojo, you'll see one that's a Gundam Wing, you'll see one that's Naruto, stuff like that, but they're licensed to them and all that good stuff, which is kind of cool. So right now I'll kind of show off a little bit what I got. So I got this oversized shirt. Looks plain in the front, obviously, but on the back it has the dopest samurai symbol that I like the samurai symbol a lot. And I have these shorts on, which is like the great official shorts, and it feels so comfortable. So I'm definitely digging it. And what's crazy about it is that you can get quality stuff on there, and it's literally like $15. Like legitimately, like this shirt cost me. I think this shirt cost me $10. So, yeah. So if you guys, I took a risk because at first I got like a tracksuit from there, and you already know how it can be. Like if you order something from Wish, it can be one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, it looks great in the picture, but when you receive it, it might be like. You might go ahead and order a motorcycle and you're expecting like a big vroom vroom, but then it gets there, it's a little toy motorcycle or something like that. So that's kind of like the risk that you take whenever you go to these sites like through Facebook or whatever. Boohoo Man was one where I was just like, all right, this is cheap, $15-$20 for a tracksuit, a full tracksuit. I'll give it a shot and see. I love the material. I loved it. It fits perfectly fine. US sizes and everything like that. The only critique I have about it is that if you order something that's like a cotton, then like when you, for me, I'm a dancer. So when I'm dancing in it, there'll be some small cotton residue that's like shedding off of the stuff. And I think that's specifically just because of how new it is. I think after maybe a couple washes, it will stop shedding. But that was my only criticism because I noticed at first I noticed that with the tracksuit because that's also cotton. Then I noticed it. I wore some of my stuff yesterday because it was I ordered stuff for the trip, but I also ordered some stuff for like spring and fall time when it gets a little bit nippy out, but to where you can wear shorts but also a hoodie with it. And yeah, so definitely they have a lot of styles, and they have a lot of styles that I like too as well. But they also have other styles too as well. They have people that like gothic stuff, they like steampunk stuff. They'll have that on Boohoo Man. So I definitely recommend for you guys to check that out if you guys are trying to order new stuff online, and that's for our viewers online, or even for either one of you guys if you guys like that stuff. So that's on the fashion sense. So that's that. Getting ready for my trip. Very excited. Anime wise, been kind of keeping up with my animes, and there's been a couple that I do want to give a shout out here that I've been watching. So one is an isekai. Well, it's not even an isekai. It's a semi isekai. It's because it's both. Like he goes, it's literally called. I got a cheat skill in another world and became overpowered, unrivaled in the real world too. And it's a half isekai to where half of him will go inside this one world, but then like he'll come back. He still has access to go back to the normal world. And it's very interesting what they did. The dub of episode 1 just came out yesterday. They're sub wise, they're up to episode 4. And this is an anime I've been watching out for every single week. It is very good. I really enjoy it, and I'm just enjoying my time with it overall. Another anime I've been watching, which I highly recommend this for anybody, Hell's Paradise. Absolutely phenomenal. And if anyone is a Jujutsu Kaisen fan or a Chainsaw Man fan, it's the same people that made those animes. So really, really, really great stuff there. I think there's 4 episodes out for that one as well. That is the anime of the spring right now, and I'm very glad it exists. It is a really good one. So been enjoying my time with that. Then there's other animes that I've been kind of enjoying and passing and all that good stuff. There's one, it's called Why Raeliana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion. That one is very similar to My Next Life as a Villainess. Extremely similar to it, actually. She's just not a villain. But she ends up dying in the real world, and she gets isekai'd into a novel. I don't think it's a video game. I think it's a novel that she gets isekai'd into, and she takes that knowledge of what she knew from her previous life into this game, or into this isekai'd world. So that's also interesting. And then the last one that I will recommend, because I could go all day about anime, but the last one I recommend here is My Home Hero. That one's an interesting one as well, because that one is based on the premise of that one is that there's this guy, the main character has this daughter who's in like college, and in Japanese culture, once they like leave high school, or even in some cases when they're in high school, they're considered like just adults and stuff like that. But she's in college. She has this boyfriend, and he noticed that she came home with bruises on, like not home, but she hung out with her dad, and he noticed that she had bruises on her and stuff like that. And it's because her boyfriend hits her and everything. And the boyfriend he's a Yakuza member, and he's just bad news. He's terrible. He's a piece of trash. But pretty much one thing led to another, to where the dad had ended up killing her boyfriend. And now the Yakuza is like trying to figure out where this person is at, because he's part of the Yakuza. He's one of their own. So they're trying to figure out where he's at. And it's up to the dad to kind of like hide the remains of the boyfriend, make up all these stories and all that good stuff. So it's extreme. It's like a murder mystery almost, and it's extremely, extremely interesting. So those would be my recommendations out there. Again, starting with I got a cheat skill in another world that became unrivaled in the real world too. Why Raeliana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion, My Home Hero, and last but not least, absolutely not least, Hell's Paradise. Those would be my anime recommendations for you guys.
Is that related in any way to an anime called Hell Girl?
No.
Oh man,
No,
you brought that one up, Nineball.
I just remember that from a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, like if there is any correlation, it definitely has not shown any sense of it yet. But I'm very, very confident they're separate. So, and then video game wise, I've been playing a lot of Wolong Fallen Dynasty with Hayes, Abs, and Gravity. For anyone that is curious about that, like again, Dynasty Warriors Dark Souls is what it pretty much is. Lubu is no joke. So if you guys know the Dynasty Warriors history, or just know like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Hulao Gate is where the big showdown goes through, and that's when you first have your encounter with Lubu. And Lubu is like Sephiroth level boss. Like he is really difficult. I was fortunate to beat him. So one negative thing about Wolong Fallen Dynasty is the fact that when you do the co-op play, it in some areas those boss fights can be extremely glitchy, and it's really that's probably one of the worst things that can happen in a Souls-like game, because timing is impeccable when it comes down to Souls-like games. So yeah, so with Lubu teleporting all over the place, I made the decision. I was like I think it was like on Saturday when we were playing. I was like, hey, this might be the boss where we have to disperse, fight him on our own, and then we can reconvene after we beat him. And so yeah, so I ended up plowing through Hula Gate. Everything to me on Hula Gate was extremely easy, and I think part of the reason why, like when I played with it, hey, it's abs and gravity, we were struggling getting through Hula Gate, but we ended up getting to Lubu, and that's when he was just kicking our butt left and right. But then when I went back through and played it again solo, I was destroying absolutely everything to the point where I thought Lubu was going to be easy. And I was just like, yeah, this is a cakewalk. Like I was destroying everything. But I think part of the reason why is because at one point, aside from Hey It's Abs and Gravity, I actually played with our buddy Silent, who's inside the fantasy league with us, to try to get him caught up to where we were at. And so I think that gave me extra level, and maybe I don't know if it's just extra armor or whatever the case is, to be able to take them out pretty easily when I had to go when it was time for me to do solo. So but when I got to Lubu, even though I felt confident, he was kicking my butt, dude, and he was really, really, really rough. Luckily, I got past him, and then since then I haven't had any issues. But I obviously didn't want to get too far ahead because we want to try to progress through together. So I'm just waiting until they have time, and then we'll just try to link back up again. So yeah, Wolong Fallen Dynasty is still a great game, but Lubu is no joke. So first boss, no joke. There's an ape that's in there that's also no joke. But then yeah, Lubu, absolutely no joke. So do not go in there thinking it's going to be an easy game, because it will not be. You'll be in there for a rude awakening.
We heard all about it before we did our last Phasmo run.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, Sundays, like we were like, yeah, all right, we'll just get on. We'll just Phasmo, and they're like, all right, we're trying to beat this boss on Wulong. We've been at it for like the past 3 hours, but we're gonna try again. I'm like, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like, Nightball and I are just sitting in the lobby waiting, listening to Lisa in the back room screaming at us, and then the next thing like they both get in there like, hi. We're like, he goes, no. Shelby goes, no. It's like, okay, enough said.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend for sure. Because again, like I said, Lubu is no joke at all. He is tough. He's one toughie. And then another game I've been playing is Cyberpunk. Been progressing in there. Been playing actually quite a bit of Final Fantasy 14. And I did progress in there. My heart's breaking a little bit, because the way that I want this character to be portrayed, because there's a certain character shift that happens with a character that you start off not liking, but then you can grow to like. I feel like something is not. I feel like it's kind of going the opposite direction of where I want it to go for this character. So that's kind of hurting my heart a little bit. But I am definitely digging the story of this game for sure. But yeah, I've just been progressing further in that a little bit, and played a lot of Madden and a lot of FIFA. So that's kind of been the life of Killer Cam, aka Malachi 36, aka Flash. But what I want to do is I want to talk about the Fantasy Gaming League real quick, because it's been a while since we had the last update. So on here we have our Fantasy Gaming League, which works very much like fantasy football. Every single week we pretty much talk about it, but you're against everybody at the same time through an annual basis. It's not like a week to week thing where you're against one other opponent each week. It's literally everyone at the same time, and it's on a 100-point scale, with 70 points being the threshold. Anything that scores above 70 points on Metacritic gains you points. Anything below loses. Anything right at 70, neither gain nor lose. And then there's also these things called counter picks out there, where you pick a game that's on somebody else's list, trying to mess them up. If it does come out and does poorly, you gain those points that they lost. If it comes out and does great, you lose the points, but they still gain the points. And if it does not release that year, then you just vacated their spot, and they can't drop that game, which will hinder them from getting points and possibly winning at the end of the year.
I can give you a quick rundown real fast.
Go ahead.
I'm not winning. That's all y'all need to know.
Not winning right now. Got to keep it positive right now. You know what I mean? Right now, Carrot Patch Inc. He is carrying the torch right now, and he was our first year's winner. Last year's winner was Moga Make Ohio Great Again.
All right, did everyone else just stop playing? Like seriously, I swear to God, like there's so many opening spots in there. I'm like, come on, guys.
There's a lot of open spots. I think that some people may have like forgot to manage it. I also think that other people are just waiting for what happens around Summer Game Fest and stuff like that. So we'll kind of have to wait and see. But our list is looking like this. I'm just going to go down here, no particular order. Zaka Corp, it's the 9-ball, has 11 points on his list. He has the following games. League of Legends, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom pending. Wolong Fallen Dynasty, guys. Wow, let me take a drink real fast because I was about to say Wolong Fallen Dinosaur. I don't know where that came from, so hold on.
He didn't have a raise, people. He did not have a raise.
Nope. Didn't get his raise energy drinks. We talked about it last time. He said he had to order them. He still hasn't ordered them. Shame.
Right. Shame. That's why I'm slipping up, because I did not get a raised energy drink. I did not use ALWT game at checkout. Get 50% off of Rep Sports, REPPsports.com, and dive inside checkout and try to get my drinks and try to make sure that I'm on track for you guys. I did not do any of that. So make sure, again, you guys do not be like me, and you guys will go ahead and order some from REPPsports.com. That is REPPsports.com. Type in ALWT game at checkout and get 15% off. That is 15% sign off. Ain't that right, Bill Dude? Ain't that right? It's the 9-ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Facts. Okay, now on over to the next one. We have Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, pending. Redfall, pending. The Plucky Squire, pending. Senua's Saga Hellblades 2, pending. Warhammer 40K. Space Marine 2, pending. System Shock, pending. Tekken 8, pending. He has an open spot. He also picked up The Wolf Among Us 2, which is not coming out this year. And he has Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which got him 11 points. He has a counter pick of Sons of the Forest, and he has 11 points sitting down as total. Next up is ALWT Gaming, a.k.a. Malachi 36.
Ooh.
Yeah. You saw us go with that. I almost said it. I have Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, Hades 2, Forza Motorsport, Xbox Series X version, Oxenfree 2, Lost Signal, Eater Knight, Stellar Blade, Palwood,
Take a breath, man. Take a breath.
Remnant 2. All those games are
Just Bob Ross.
all those games are pending.
Remnant 2, right there.
I have Horizon Call of the Mountain. I have 9 points, and I have a counter pick of Black Myth Wukong. Next up is Illuminatus Living. Illusp Live has Resident Evil 4 Remake, 24 points. Octopath Traveler 2, 15 points. Like a Dragon Ishin, 11 points. He also has Hollow Knight Silk Song, Sea of Stars, and Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. That's a new one. He added that recently.
Yeah, I just seen that.
Yeah, he added that recently. So those are all pending, and he has 4 open spots, and he has a counter pick of The Wolf Among Us 2, which is confirmed not coming out this year. Next up is Titan Brain Go Punch by Silent, who has Fire Emblem Engage, 11 points. Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line, 16 points. The rest are pending, which is Liza P, Armor Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Pikmin 4, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Metro Prime 4, Dragon Age Dreadwolf. He has 2 open spots and has a counter pick of Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and The Lost Demon, which got him a negative 11 points because that actually did great.
At
Next
least he
up,
didn't counter pick Resident Evil 4.
facts. Next up is Carrot Patch Inc. with a lot of his games dropped already, with Hogwarts Legacy, 14 points. Wild Hearts, 9 points. Company of Heroes 3, 10 points. Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, 11 points. Minecraft Legends, 2 points. Terranil, 12 points. Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key, 13 points. He also has Spider-Man's 2, which is pending. Sons of the Forest, which is also pending. And he has an open spot, and he has a counter pick of One Piece Odyssey, which got negative 4 points.
I curse you, 9-ball.
We have Dr. Q, who's a.k.a. Dr. Keese, who has Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which is not coming out this year. Dead Space Remake, 19 points. Alan Wake 2, pending. Dead Island 2, 5 points. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and The Lost Demon, 11 points. He has 5 open spots. He has a counter pick of Forspoken, which got him 3 points. Next up is Gravitron.
What game was that again?
Stop it. He has Gravitron, aka Gravity Mark II, who has Star Wars Jedi Survivor pending, Skull and Bones pending. He has Forspoken, which got -3 points. Atomic Heart, 4 points. Black Myth Sun Wukong, but it is Sun Wukong, but it's just called Black Myth Wukong, and 0 points because it's not coming out this year. 5 open spots. Counterpick of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay, I'm gonna have to talk to him. One day when we play, we can get him back in. He can make a comeback.
Yep.
He can. There's always those hero stories.
Hey, he's doing better than Ohio did his first round. He's got a positive 1 point currently.
Moga, Make Ohio Great Again, has Diablo 4, Starfield, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, and those are all pending. He has a counterpick, or he has a normal game that dropped, which is One Piece Odyssey, 4 points. Counterpick of Skull and Bones, 5 open spots, and there you have it. So right now, first place is Carrot Patch Inc., 65 points. Second place is Illuminatus Living, 50 points. Third place is Dr. Q, 37 points. Fourth place is Titan Brain Go Punch, 16 points. Fifth place, Zaka Corp, 11 points. Ninth place. Sixth place is ALWT Gaming, 9 points. Seventh is Moga Make Ohio Great Again. And then Gravitron is honorably mentioned in last.
Well, he's hopefully going to get some points here with Jedi Survivor coming out.
Yeah.
Redfall, Zaka's got 3 coming out. Redfall, Tears of the Kingdom is going to knock you up really high there, buddy. That one, I would be surprised if it goes below a 90. And then System Shock, I am definitely waiting for that one.
Mm-hmm. So now, without further ado, jumping inside story number 1, which is Horizon 3 announced. Yes, that's Horizon 3, not Forbidden West, not DLC, Horizon 3. Darren Bonthas from GameSpot says this in the article. Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West developer Guerrilla has confirmed that a new game in the series is in development and will once again star Aloy. In management update, Guerrilla announced that the studio director and executive producer Angie Smets had taken on the head of development strategy role at PlayStation Studios, and that Smets' previous position will be filled by Joel Eschler, Hella Schmidt, and Jan Bart von Beek. Smet has served as a studio head alongside Beek and Michael van der Leeuw, and her departure will see Van der Leeuw step away from that role to focus on leading technology and strategy for Guerrilla's Decima engine. Quote, while we have full confidence in our new leadership as they steer Guerrilla towards the bright future, expanding the world of Horizon with Aloy's next adventure and our exciting online project, Guerrilla casually announced. Aloy's next adventure was all but written in stone, as the last game, Forbidden West, planted seeds for a threequel throughout its campaign. The Zero Dawn sequel also received a major expansion this month, Burning Shores, which continues Aloy's journey across the U.S. to prepare for the arrival of the genocidal artifactal intelligence nemesis. Guerrilla also hinted in December that it was, quote, continuing to create epic solo adventures for Aloy through the number of transmedia projects, including the release of Horizon Call of the Mountain on PSVR 2, a rumored Horizon Dawn remaster for PS5, a Netflix TV series adaptation, and even an MMO RPG spinoff. End quote, end story. So I want to take it on over to the number 1 fan of Horizon Forbidden West, who has beaten Zero Dawn
in this group.
and who has beaten Zero Dawn and has beaten Forbidden West, and I believe may have started Burning Shores. Maybe I'm prematurely speaking on that.
I got it. It's just this last month has been killer on me, so I've forgotten to pick it up and play it. So, but that is going to be, once things settle here in May, it's going to be going through for sure. Yeah, I saw that. I was excited for Burning Shores.
So I have a couple questions for you, and then I do want to pass on over to Nightball, which you haven't played any of the Horizon yet, Nightball, right?
I played some of them.
Zero
Not
Dawn,
all.
Just Zero
I
Dawn?
played the original,
Okay.
but
Zero Dawn.
Yeah. So my couple questions for you is this: one, How does this strike you? Are you excited about this? Were you expecting a third game? Two,
Can we go one at a time?
yes.
So yeah, no, I mean anyone who played the game, like as they stated in there, like you knew you're gonna have a third one because pretty much like you thought what you were fighting was the penultimate enemy, but it's not. It's literally what they created is coming to Earth, like coming to Earth. That literally can. It's pretty much like a digital massive construct that can pretty much destroy the system that you're trying to get back online to keep the world alive and complete what they were trying to do initially, which is heal the world from the stupidity of their war of the machines that they created, which is like holy crap. So, yeah, no, this was expected. Like I would have been very surprised if they didn't announce anything until like way later on. Like so, this is a no surprise situation here for us. With the Forbidden West, with the new Horizon 3. So I cannot wait to continue the story with Ayla because there's so much that happened into that I can't wait to see translated into 3.
Okay. Next question would be: is any of the spin-off stuff, any of the compilation stuff, so like the MMORPG, the TV series, any of that intrigue you to see what's going on there?
I'm interested in the RPG, and in the RPG. I'm interested in the TV series for sure because we've seen like what they've done with like The Last of Us and several of the other ones that have come out that have been really really good. So I'm definitely interested in that one to see what they're going to do. And now I don't remember if they mentioned in here if it's going to be live action or not for the TV series.
I think it is.
So that's going to be an interesting. But I'm hoping what it is it's kind of if it's kind of like hoping it's going to be like Jurassic World in a way, to where it's like it's going to be animations for a lot of the mechs that you're fighting, and then probably just realistic for them. So, but it's going to be interesting to see how they do the TV series and then the TV series is going to be based on. I'm wondering if it's going to be pre-Horizon, pre-Forbidden West, like getting the setup to it. That's going to be an interesting concept, or is it going to be during it, maybe, or in like a different section of the area. So, that one I'm definitely interested. The MMORPG, it definitely sounds unique because there is a lot to the world of Horizon. Like you're talking like America, like you're talking like the world remade into a completely different aspect with different, cultures, situations, and a lot of the cauldrons and a lot of different bunkers and stuff that you can go diving into, the fights and all. I just don't know how you would do an MMORPG out of this because this is more of an FPS game, pretty much. So that one I'm just like massive online world, like maybe, but I don't see it being RPG because there's really not too many RPG elements to the game besides leveling up your bows, your spear, getting certain abilities, certain aspects. That's about it. So I mean, you might be able to say that that's RPG, but it's not. It doesn't strike me as MMO style RPG from what I've seen like you guys do with like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy and all that.
And then my last question would be: pretend the game comes out tomorrow, right? Where in the world is this Horizon 3 going to take place?
That's an interesting question. Because where you left off in this one, kind of a bit of a spoiler here, guys, if you haven't played it, you're over kind of like on the farther west coast of... Wait, are you on the west or east coast? Shoot.
I think you're in San Francisco.
So then you're farther west, because I knew like you could go like you were out around like Yellowstone Rockies and all that around that area, and then you're going further west to like the base sides because you actually hit ocean then at that point. In Forbidden West, you didn't. You had like frozen mountains, and then you had your main area jungle. You had like woodlands and stuff, and then you go to a desert area with the one group, the Sun group there. I've already forgotten names. Dang it. And then you go over now to the next zone, which have like newer people. Like you got marshlands, deserts, and then you got into the sea, ocean area. And then there's a third group that you get introduced to who's actually from across the sea. So kind of like from almost like I don't know, like if they were um, like China's area or something, like from fully that continent over, or if they're from like an island chain, like but it's like they came over here, to like our zone because of stuff that they were finding out. Um, so there is a lot there. I'm gonna say because of where you were setting up and all with what's going on, I'm gonna say you might end up starting at the same point, possibly, or a different bunker in a way, because the way that you transitioned in from like one into two is you actually went through a portion of one to get to the two's area. So they might do that again to where you're actually maybe transitioning from two's area into threes, um, leaving that main base behind. But it's like it was kind of odd that they took away that base from me because that was like kind of almost like a core key like outpost area that you found and were running. So I would be I'd be interested to see how they did this. Like if it's going to be a combination of part of two with like a larger area for three, or is it going to be a completely new area? New base, new set because of what's happening. So it's going to be interesting to see. Either
So
way, I just know it's going to be a fantastic game and a fantastic, possibly finale for this one because it seems like this might be the ending. Possibly, we don't know. I'm speculating.
you think that starting off at least you'll still be in the United States? You don't think we're going to go to Asia or Canada or Mexico or anything like that?
I still think we're going to start off there. Like I said, you meet a group that's from across the sea in a way, to where I feel like you possibly are going to have that point where you are possibly maybe going to cross over to somewhere else.
Okay.
There was underwater kind of stuff going on, like in terms of traversing all, which was awesome, awesome addition to Forbidden West. Like just the moving around, doing stuff there, and trying to remember that's completely different and so cool. I definitely hoping they expand on that, and with the possibilities of going to say like maybe island changes, like maybe we're gonna touch Hawaii. That'd be kind of fun. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do and how they do it. Because I'm kind of curious on where it seemed like much of the nodes were in. Like, and I may have to go back and look. This is why I don't say I'm like the diehard fan of it, but I think a lot of the nodes that they were talking about were mainly in America, but I could be where because of events that took place in 3 and 2, it could be that you may have to go outside of the zone, which would be a lot of fun and really interesting because they have built such a lore for this world, with these different groups and peoples and all that. I really want to see more, like see what else that they come up with and see what they do because of what's happened to this world. So yeah, I can't wait to find out.
All right. Nine Ball, as far as someone that's played a little bit of Zero Dawn, does this entice you to get through Zero Dawn and then through Forbidden West to get ready for the third one, or are you going to wait for it to come out as a trilogy package? Like, what did this do for you as someone that's been outside looking in?
I already got them. It's just I got to play them. I've had them for a while now.
Okay, so does this encourage you to go back and play them, or is this still like this is cool, but I'll get to it when I get to it?
I have to get to it. I mean, it sounds nice. It's really good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I have a huge backlog. But I'm trying to get that done before I do it. Before I start, investing into like a ton of games.
Heard that. Yeah. That's like for me. Because I'm kind of I'm like right in between you two. Like I beat Horizon Zero Dawn. I played the DLC literally and beat it literally the day that Horizon Forbidden West came out. Played a little bit of Forbidden West. Like I'm still very early inside the game. And then life happened, and I think also because that was the first time in a long time we had banger games come out back to back to back. Because shortly after Forbidden West was Elden Ring. Then shortly after that was, even though at the time I was really enjoying Elden Ring, I'm not a fan now. Actually, I sold my Elden Ring. but like Sifu came out, Stranger in Paradise came out, I know this is a game that's no longer existing pretty much, but even then, I had a small interest in Babylon's Fall until that just was just terrible. Yeah, it's just like all these different games were coming out during one particular time period, and it was just like I can't. It's hard to split your focus. So so I just haven't came back to Forbidden West, but I do plan to. Hearing this news makes me a little bit more excited to see what's going on there. And yeah, I'm excited to get back into this universe.
It's a wonderful universe and a really good story. I'd say to anyone who's now, it doesn't have like really choice spaces, which is kind of sad. But to be honest, I really don't think it makes or break the game without choice spaces. But for those who like a really good like playthrough, but also have a good open world to play with, Horizon I think definitely can scratch that itch for sure.
I think the one that will really excite me, because I still am interested in the PSVR 2 and try not call the mountain. I'm not going to pick it up currently because it is way too pricey. Way too pricey.
Well, it's only 600 or so.
So that's one. But and then I do have a ton of games that I got to, but I am interested in inside the VR experience. But I have to cross that bridge when I get there. The one that I'm really excited for, though, is the MMO portion of it, because what I'm seeing that they're going to probably do is very similar to what they do in World of Warcraft, to where the main characters that you're playing as or talking to, they're going to be AIs in the game. So even Aloy might even be AI, and you have your own creative person that's coming through, and you're playing, and you're kind of going outside this world as a new player fresh from the ground up. Shaolin Keese in the chat, have you seen the new Flash trailer? Well, first of all, shout out to you there, Shaolin Keese. Second,
what's up, Shaolin?
What's going on?
You may want to touch up on your fantasy gaming league, man, because you're holding third place. I was about to say third down. You're holding third place, I believe third place, and you still have a lot of games that you can pick up. So I don't know if there's any games that's on your radar, but you might want to look into that because you have a good chance of winning this thing, my guy. And then third, I have not seen the new Flash trailer yet.
You talking about for the Flashpoint one?
Yeah.
No, I think he's talking about. I think he's legitimately talking about DC Flash.
Yeah, the Flash movie.
Yeah,
no,
it's a movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, yes, I've seen it, dude. I'm waiting on it.
Okay, yeah, the new one. Yeah, I just launched like 3 hours ago.
Yeah, that I haven't
seen. I haven't seen the new trailer. I seen the first one though.
Yeah, I was about to say I saw the first one too, where because you're seeing two Flashes in that. Yeah, so that one I saw, I thought it looked cool. It actually even looked great. I don't like the actor that they have as Flash. I don't like him one bit. Get somebody else.
I know.
Give me CW. Give me CW's Flash. Give me him.
It was just like I told you before. They had already filmed it when he decided, to be a total idiot, and it puts them again in an ugly situation.
But even before he started adding being an idiot, that's not the Flash. He's not Flash. He's not. He's not any version of Flash. He's trash. That's what they should have called him, trash. But anyway, yeah. So I say all that to say, kind of shit against for a hot second. I say all that to say I am very excited for the MMO version of Horizon, but I do want to see what it's going to look like, how it's going to play. Pretty much the typical stuff that a gamer would want. You want to make sure it speaks to you first before you actually shell out $60-$70 for a title, because games are just getting more expensive, and unless you have like Game Pass or a PlayStation subscription, you kind of have to be mindful of what you're buying. Next up on here, we do have the PlayStation Nation. It's a 3-parter here. So the first one is live service stance. And if there's anything that speaks for these ones, we can kind of just pass by them as I read them. But if there's anything that sticks out to any of you guys, if you guys want to stick around and talk about it, we can definitely talk about it for a moment. Kind of going back to the Flash conversation, Shaolin Key says they need to put Wally West in movies. I could not agree with you more, my guy. I do want to see more Impulse as well. I do like Impulse a lot. But yeah, I mean, they always do the tropey Barry Allen, which is not bad, but it's just, I don't know. I don't think that aside from the CW one, they just haven't been nailing it. That's just
Yeah, I haven't really going with the Flash. And me personally, I don't really know the Flash's rogues gallery. I know from the CW, but you already know I followed Batman for DC.
Mm-hmm.
I never really followed the Flash. Like I know now, watching the CW, I know about Zoom.
Yeah, Reverse
Like you
Flash,
said, there was
Gorilla Grodd.
Reverse Flash,
Yeah,
Gorilla Grodd. There was
Flash.
Killer Frost.
Yep.
Yep.
I
mainly
think
just know those from
Impulse was in the CW Flash, wasn't she?
Impulse. I don't. Now, here's the thing. I didn't finish all of the CW's Flash. The only time I've seen Impulse in a live action series is in Smallville. That's the only time I saw Impulse.
There was like no, I don't think that was Impulse because this one kind of used too much Flash. It went too fast and faded out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like in season 1 or 2, I want to say. I don't know if that was Impulse or not.
It probably was season 2.
I can't remember which season that was on.
Season 1, I believe, at the end of it, going inside season 2, he went so fast that he went back into the past.
Okay. But yeah, I don't really know most of Flash's rogues gallery. But he probably has some. He should have some interesting ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see some.
But yeah, kind of going back to your thing there, I agree. Wally West needs to be in more movies, but it does come down to how they portray him. Has to be done right. You can't just be throwing anybody in there being Wally West. And they have potential of making a really good Barry Allen. They just need to make sure that they don't pick that idiot that's currently Flash right now. I don't know why they. I don't know.
Well, I feel like too, and this is one thing, and I hate to deviate off. But if this is a Flashpoint movie, this is where you could start over.
True.
Because you remember Flash reset. I remember that. And I don't know much about Flash. I remember on Flashpoint is where he kind of resetted the DCEU. And that's what I'm hoping happens here, that they kind of take the time, reevaluate, and this will allow them to kind of clean up the DCEU mess right now. Let's be real. The DCEU is kind of all over the place.
No.
It felt some of those felt rushed and they looked rushed. It was like, I'm never going to forgive them for Doomsday.
That was terrible.
That was a troll. That was not Doomsday.
So part 1, real fast, kind of going back to the video game. No, you're getting part 1 of the PlayStation is the live service stance. And again, anything that sticks out to you guys, I'm going to read it for the news portion of it. But if you guys want to sit down and talk about it, we could definitely chill here and talk about it for a moment. So Darren Bontis from GameSpot says this in the article. Although PlayStation is in the midst of a big push into live service games, one executive with the company does not want to see the games industry become too homogeneous. Speaking to The Guardian, PlayStation boss Shuei Yoshida explained that the talent of the game developers is what drives the industry forward. But he did admit that seeing the best-selling games list dominated by live service titles will be quote-unquote boring for him. Quote, the games industry will never cease to be a fun place. The industry keeps growing and growing, and I hope it keeps supporting and chasing creative ideas and people who try to work on new things. You don't want to see the top 10 games every year being almost the same. All games becoming service games, Yoshida said. That would be a bit boring for me. I do want to talk about this for a hot second. I 1,000% agree with them. Now, don't get me wrong. Are there live service games out there that are done properly? Technically, Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, those can still be considered live service games. They're not, but they kind of are. You know what I mean? Same thing for one of the better ones that's a better example of it, Destiny 2. That's a live service game. Fortnite, that's a live service game. Smite, that's live service games. Those are games that I actually do like. But for them to be on the top 10 bestsellers of all the time, that I agree. I think that's a little like, all right. So that's almost like every single year you're like, all right, who has the best battle royale? And then every single year it's Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like that does kind of like, all right, well, there's no shock there. There's no surprise there. There's no creativity there. No one's trying to deviate from the trail and have something new. which I'm assuming that's one of the reasons why you guys in particular love indie games so much, is because they're doing something different. They're not just following a code of just, hey, this is the action movie. We have a beginning, middle, end, and it ends like this. Everyone lives, everyone's happy ever after. You're going to have those mix-ups inside indie games. Kind of going inside the same vein as this, I do want to see something different than just the normal live service games, but I don't want to stop entirely live service games in general, because I don't think that every live service game is bad. I do think there's some really, really great ones out there, and even some models of live service games are really, really good. I will say that if a game for like Suicide Squad, when you're forcing live service inside your mechanism, that's when it becomes a failure. And I know Shaolin Keys, and I know how he feels about live service games inside the chat. I know you hate them with the passion, so you're probably ready to see this go, and you probably agree with Yoshida more than anybody here. So that's my stance on it. I agree with Yoshida 100%. I don't think that live service games should leave, but I do think that we don't need as many live service games as we currently have right now.
I agree most. I pretty much almost agree totally with you in a lot of ways. What you're saying all is true. I believe it's more how it's implemented.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with the sometimes live service games is the transaction system. Sometimes they focus too much on making money other than making gains.
Yeah.
And this has become more and more of a predatory practice than what it has been a beneficial thing. Certain games, like you said, it's great if it's implemented correctly. In some games, it'll even allow, like you said, with Smite, or you can even throw in, and I know this may be controversial, sometimes League of Legends. Games with a live service, using that sometimes to make up the cost is not a bad thing. Even in Master Duel they use it like that, and sometimes it's not a bad thing. It's not really a bad thing. For me, so far, it hasn't been that bad on Master Duel. But right now the problem isn't Master Duel. The problem is the meta. But that's a whole tangent for later. But if it's implemented right, I don't have a problem with it. I don't particularly mind it. I mean, even with like I was picking up with Smite, it's still a free game. Yeah, it has live service stuff in there, but overall it's a free game and it's a good game to play, and they're making money off it. Right. Even I even could say I had my fair share of fun with Warframe, and that was a pretty good one like that.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you do it wrong, you end up in a. I want to say the only one that comes to my mind right now is probably Battlefront 2 when that first launched.
Yep. Even Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, that hasn't even launched yet. That's getting.
I was about to say I haven't touched that one yet. I can't really say nothing. But I can use another one. You just made me think of another one. What was that game?
Avengers?
No, not Avengers. It died by the predatory practices. Oh God! It was Turtle Rock Studio made it.
Yeah, Suicide Squad. You said Turtle Rock?
Yes. The makers of Left 4 Dead.
Back for Blood?
Not Back for Blood. It was Acentrum and one person play. Oh, there it is. Evolve.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I had that in my library. I forgot I got it for free. That game, it was they sent out the cash shop before the game even launched. They had the cash shop out, and it was already going on the DLC. But if it's implemented right, it's great. I mean, it's not that big of a deal or anything. And if it's mainly like most people don't have a problem, it's mainly cosmetic and stuff. But the problem is when you put pay to win aspects into it, it becomes a huge issue.
Absolutely. That's an example of doing it wrong. You're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Like again, going back to Smite, even though we have our own opinions on how Smite can be run when it comes down to certain meta, which again, in the words of Nineball, that's a tangent for another time. But I'm just saying, cosmetically, Smite has one of the better fits that's out there that you can get, skins and all that good stuff. It looks beautiful. Even when it comes down to getting gems and all that good stuff, like they have some really good stuff that's in there, and people don't mind spending the money on those outfits and skins and wards and all that stuff because it's not changing the gameplay of it. It's just changing how you look. It's kind of having more individuality with the characters that you have. So,
Yeah.
Mildew, do you have any commentary on that before we go into the sub 2 of story number 2?
Y'all pretty much said it.
All right, so sub 2 canceled so many games. This is still PlayStation Nation right here. Zach Zweisen from Kotaku says this in the article. In an interview published on Monday, PlayStation's again Shuhei Yoshida talked about how difficult and expensive it is to make video games, explaining why the company is behind the hits. It's explaining that the company behind hits like God of War and The Last of Us cancels quote unquote so many games in order to save developers from getting stuck on something. From 2008 to 2019, Yoshida was the president of Sony Interactive Entertainment. He stepped down from that role in 2019 amid a company reshuffle, and former Guerrilla Games boss Herman Holtz took over as president, while Yoshida focused on helping external developers on new projects and as head of SIE's Independent Developer Initiative. While he might not be running the ship anymore, he's still involved with video game development at Sony and its studios. As part of the process, Yoshida says a lot of games projects get canned before seeing the light of day. Yoshida recently told The Guardian that while PlayStation embraces new ideas, many of them fail. That's just part of the job, and in order to see what works and what doesn't, he explained that the company does a lot of testing and prototyping. We do a prototype, we evaluate, we decide whether to spend more time and resources, or we just stop, Yoshida says. We cancel so many games. This might sound harsh or cruel, Yoshida says he has to convince studios and developers to move or stop in order to save these developers from getting stuck on projects or games that just aren't working out. End quote, end story. Do you, starting with you there, Mildewy, do you have any commentary on canceled games in general, or is this just any like do you have any commentary on this section at all? I personally don't.
The only thing I gotta say on this one is it's kind of sad seeing games canceled, especially when you see indie games try and then end up having to fail because there's not enough support from the communities or such like there. And it's sometimes it's not even that the games just aren't good. It's just sometimes communities can be so picky about them, so to be able to do well and get up there, you have to do a lot of networking, kickstarting, all that just to try and keep your game going and try and get up to a level that you can hopefully get it out there, at least onto Steam or something, and have it receive at least, mostly positive reviews, So, it is kind of concerning a little bit how many are being canceled, but then again, it's also you gotta dig into it then to see the numbers. Why are they being canceled? For what reasons? Is it just that they didn't care? Or they just gave up? So it's a concern, but it's one I would. Me just being someone who does data analysis, it's I just kind of want to know a little bit more detail about it before I just say, "Oh no, we're canceling games. Save them all." What the hell's this game? Who the hell is gonna play Trump's Revival #1? Yeah. You just got to be careful with it. So, but it is still kind of a concern though, especially with what we talked about beforehand, where companies are getting bought out by Microsoft, PlayStation, and all that, and some of them are saying well, they're trying to save them. There's got to be a better way to save these companies, guys. There's got to be a way to help them keep the independence and keep the game industry going strong, because we're in a digital age right now. I'm not gonna lie to people. We're going it's definitely going more digital, and gaming is not going to disappear. So how do we keep this going strong? How do we keep evolving it and keep it safe for generations to come?
Yeah, I don't really have any comments. The only commentary I would have is just more of a wonderment. I wonder what those games were that got canceled. I am curious to see what started and then how it ended and what it looked like, how the gameplay was, how far along they were. I do have questions about that, but aside from that, I just think that it is one of those things that Comes with the territory. You have to come out. It's very similar to like trying out for America's Got Talent. You know how many people try out for that show, but then like we see the audition process, but the audition process is still something that's just there for TV. They pick out the more entertaining ones, and then even if they're bad, they pick out some of the entertaining ones and then present it to the studio for them to show it on TV. But then you have all this talent, this huge pool of talent of people that went to the audition and just didn't even make it to the audition stage for TV because they didn't make it past the first 3 levels. You know what I mean? So it's just, yeah. So I'm just kind of curious to see if any of those games that got canceled could have been the next Ghost of Tsushima, could have been the next Horizon, could have been the next Sifu. You know what I mean? It's very interesting to hear that.
Oh, this is probably my territory right here.
What we're about to talk about the sub 3? Or you're talking about still sub 2?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I watch a lot of those informational shows about the making of games that almost got canceled. The amount of stuff, it happens a lot. It happens a lot more than what people know. A lot of games won't even make it to the announcements if they don't make it. But there's a lot of sleeper hits.
Yep.
And I didn't really know till I checked out and I was watching all these videos on these games. Games like Alien Isolation almost didn't make it. And the only reason why it made it was because they created a prototype in a couple months. They basically rushed it in there. If they hadn't, it almost didn't make it. Dead Space almost didn't make it. And another game that you're going to find quite interesting was a failed prototype, and this guy was talking about it. It was a failed prototype of Resident Evil 4. It actually did make it to become a Resident Evil 4 game. And it stands on its own now. And you know what that game is? Devil May Cry.
So I do.
And
so there's
Shinra
two,
Oshima was also Resident Evil 4, and that one failed.
Yeah, there's 2. Yeah, there's Onimusha.
Onimusha.
Onimusha. Yes. So I was about to say, yes, you're hitting that. Yeah, I did hear about that. There was one. I read the article a long time ago. I had to reread it to make sure that I read it correctly. But I believe another one that almost didn't make it was a full studio, and that was Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I want to say, I believe they was going under at the time.
Yeah. Hence the name Final Fantasy. There is like this is our final attempt. This is my dream game. Bam, and it's skyrocketed, and now we're here at 16 of them.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, it's part of the business. I do believe what Miyodui says. You kind of do want to see some of these, like you said. If they had never released like Devil May Cry, it was one of the inspirations for even God of War. Mm-hmm. Even though they used guns on that, they did say they did use some inspiration from it. But it's sort of
Dante uses swords too as well.
Yeah, he uses swords. Yeah. But it's sort of interesting to see some of those failed ones. So it's sad to see, but it's like I said, it's part of the job. It's part of the job. It hurts, but
yeah, and some of them just are not going to make it. That there's obviously going to be that. There's going to be a lot that try and just they fail. But I'm going to say definitely keep trying. Look around, see what people like. Like some games, like Planet Crafter that I've got is a game you guys have heard me talk about. I love this game. Can't wait for full release and for the next update coming out because I think they've got fish and I think they're adding in now mammals next. I think Nine Ball, but it's made by like a husband and wife, 2 people making this game. Like, if you've got the will and the time and the patience, like you can do it, guys. Like there's so many tools out there that have made this so easy to do. You just got to be careful with what you're doing and trying to sell. So, but all in all, there's going to be cancellations. We've seen cancel cultures. We've seen people rage about, all these games or all these things. Like, we talked about Forgotten. I think that's what it's called.
Forspoken.
What?
But even with
you guys troll. I'm still gonna pick up that game at some point. Like it's
actually funny.
I'm picking it
My
up.
brother, TBF Abyss, has got it. He's like, I don't understand what the hate is. He's like, he loves it. Like, he said that there are some points that you might see a little bit of repetitiveness, like in bosses and stuff. He's like, oh, no, it's like a good game and all. I was like, I mean, it just comes down to, I guess, people. Like, and it could be there's probably some trolls out there, something just like him, because they didn't go the way that they wanted to. They're gonna rage and create accounts, start harping and raging, and there's all sorts of things.
But I'm gonna kind of go back really quick before we move on. It really comes down to the pitch. There was so many things. I mean, I love watching documentaries. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Sometimes is to watch documentaries on how things are made, how movies are made. It gives you a better appreciation for. That's why sometimes I'll like games more or something. The backstory to how a game was made, like Silent Hill, was interesting to me. Like the backstory of even a show like Star Trek that was about canceled because, to be honest, it wasn't that good when they pitched it and they showed it. But it was the smallest difference that made the biggest things. And sometimes when they're showing these games, that could make or break something. The smallest difference makes the biggest thing. The idea in the game could have been great, but if you pitched it bad, that's it.
Right. Okay. The last little bit for story number 2 is Welcome to the Family. And this is still on PlayStation Nation.
Oh, God, you make me think of Resident Evil. Welcome to the family, boy.
No.
Wesley LeBlanc from Game Informer says this in the article. The company announced this on a new PlayStation blog, noting that it's been in a publishing partnership with Firewalk Studios and Probably Monsters since 2021, and it's now happy to expand that relationship by bringing the studio under the PlayStation umbrella. The studio has been working on the first original AAA multiplayer game for PlayStation, and it sounds like development on that will continue. Quote, since announcing our publishing partnership with Probably Monsters and Firewalk in 2021, we continue to be impressed by the team's ambitions to build a modern multiplayer game that connects players in new and innovative ways, end quote. Head of PlayStation Herman Holtz writes in the blog. Quote, the studio shares our passion for creating inspiring worlds grounded in exceptional gameplay, and we want to continue to invest in their mission. We're excited to bring their technical and creative expertise to PlayStation Studios to help grow our live service operations and deliver something truly special for gamers. End quote, end story. So congratulations to Firewalk Studios and Probably Monsters. Very exciting stuff. And you guys already know me and my multiplayer campaign style games. Bring them on. If you could bring something along the lines like that, have it be a fuse scenario that me and the boys can jump onto. Have it be a Wolong Fallen Dynasty. You know what I mean? Have it be a Warframe experience, whatever. Bring it all on. Bring it all on. Any other commentary before we go on over to story number 3?
Well, this one, I was thinking of something else, but, we'll wait and see. I really want to see what they do. I don't really know nothing about Firewalk.
Yeah. I mean, as far as, and just a real quick highlight, I don't know much about them either, but I believe when I read in passing, they did do quite of the VR stuff for PlayStation VR and VR2. And those games that they worked on were pretty good hits, but aside from that, I literally know squat about them. So very curious to see what they're going to do, and if they have the multiplayer experience, and if they happen to partner with Bungie, which has that deal with PlayStation, I think that'll be a great mixture right there. So we'll have to wait and see. Story number 3. How Dead Island 2 plays. This is for all you Dead Island fanatics out there. Mark Delani from GameSpot says this in an article. When Dead Island 2 arrives on April 21st, it will do so across major platforms, including current and last-gen consoles besides Switch and PC. April 21st, that came out 4 days ago.
That's what I was looking at. I was like, it's the 25th.
Yeah,
it's out.
Yeah, I obviously I'm not a Dead Island fan, so I did not follow closely on this, but just reading that, yeah, that's very interesting. So, but anyway, For some players, that means crossplay becomes a big question, as it may be that the case that co-op buddies are spread across different platforms. Here's the full rundown of the crossplay and co-op options on Dead Island 2. Does Dead Island 2 have crossplay? The answer to this burning question is short, but not so sweet. Dead Island 2 does not have crossplay across console ecosystems, meaning those playing on PlayStation cannot play with those on Xbox or PC, and vice versa. However, those playing on different generations of the same ecosystem can play together. PS4 and PS5 players can team up, as Xbox One and Series X players can team up. In case you're wondering, it doesn't have cross-save either, so you'll want to stick to the one platform while you slice your way through Los Angeles. There's an additional wrinkle to this feature, however. Those playing on last-gen base model platforms, including PS4, Xbox One, Xbox One S, cannot currently host co-op games. They can only join them. This means to be addressed in a future patch, and if it is, we'll update this article. In the meantime, your plans won't be interrupted as long as you have someone with a PS5 or PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox Series S, X, or Xbox One X to play with. When does co-op unlock in Dead Island 2? Co-op becomes available in Dead Island 2 during the main story quest called Call the Cavalry, which you'll reach with after the first 20 to 60 minutes spent in-game, depending on your play style. In co-op, you can choose from 1 to 3 settings or play in single player, which allow you to pause the game. End quote and story. So there you go. If you guys are trying to do some Dead Island cooperative play, there's no cross platform. So if I'm on PS5 and you have an Xbox or PC, we can't play together. You would have to get it on the PS4 or PS5. And if you're on the PS4 playing with someone on PS5, the person that's on PS5 has to invite you.
This is that, and then
That's
you
so
can't
weird.
even. It doesn't even transfer. So if you have the save with your PlayStation 4 Pro and you buy your 5, you got to start back over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why even do that?
Here's the fix. They didn't mention it here, but I'm pretty sure that this would work this way. You would be able to play on your 5, but you wouldn't be able to play the PS5 version on your 5. You would have to play your PS4 version if you want to play that same profile on your 5.
No,
that's
you should be able to upload your save files to the cloud and download the cloud to
that's
it.
That's what I'm saying. You can upload, like, say, if you have your PS4 Pro, upload it to cloud. When you get your PS5, you can download it from the cloud to your PS5, but it still has to be the PS4 version. It won't be.
I'm going off what it says in here.
Yeah, but if you have the PS5 version of that same game, you can't, because and the reason why I say that is because I'm actually going through the same thing with FIFA. So like I have the PS4, I have both PS4 and PS5 version of FIFA right now. But but my PS5 version of FIFA does not have my PS4 character that I normally play with. And my buddy has a my buddy has a PS4 but there's no crossplay, so he can't play with me on the PS5. I'm playing on my PS5, but I have to play the PS4 version on my PS5 in order to play with him, which also has my character. So it just kind of gets into a whole weird list of rules you have to meet in order to play together. And I would say in the next year or two, that won't even matter anymore, because at that point, there's not going to be a lot of games that's being made for the PS4 anyway. But it's just right now, it just sucks. So yeah,
it's just weird.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, there's a lot of hoopla in that one. So I agree. And that's actually it for the stories, but I do have a fun one out here that I want to throw at you guys.
Oh no!
Mario is making its coin. Mario. Eddie Makuch from GameSpot says this in the article. After another weekend in theaters, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is now nearing another box office milestone. The movie earned $58.2 million in North America and $70.7 million from the international market this weekend to boost the worldwide haul to $872 million. The movie should reach $900 million this week and $1 billion relatively soon. The animated film from the makers of Minions and Despicable Me still has another major market to come. Nintendo's home country of Japan, where it releases on April 28th. The Super Mario Brothers movie is 2023's biggest movie so far globally. In North America, the movie has now earned more than $400 million. It needed 18 days to reach that mark. That's the second fastest to run $400 million stateside ever for an animated movie, only trailing The Incredibles 2, which reached $400 million in North America after 15 days, according to Deadline. In terms of the box office numbers by region, the Super Mario Brothers movie is seeing a pretty even split. It's earning $434.3 million domestically and $437.5 million from the international markets. That's 49.8% for North America and 50.2% for international. The Super Mario Brothers movie is Universal's third highest grossing movie of all time in North America, animated or not, trailing only Jurassic World, which is $653 million, and E.T., which is $437 million, all the way from back in 1982. That figure is not adjusted for inflation, however. In case there was any doubt, the Super Mario Brothers movie is now far and away the highest grossing video game movie of all time. You know what's very interesting about this statement here? I feel like the movie theater business has shifted so much since I was a kid. Like, going to the movie at the time period was an event. And don't get me wrong, it still is even to today, but I felt like it was a much bigger deal going to the movie theater than it is now. And I think part of that has to do with the streaming services that's been embedded in our system now, in our ecosystem, our society. So imagine if this movie came out 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I could see this movie being much higher than what it is right now. Which is already ridiculous to think about, because in 2023, it is the third best selling movie in the world. That is crazy to think about in 2023. That is very crazy to think about to me. But yeah, so that's a little fun one there for you. Are either one of you guys planning on seeing the Super Mario movie at all?
No.
I definitely want to. I just need to be able to possibly go out into it. Just situations currently, but yeah, I definitely want to go see it. It looks interesting. So I've always played Mario. It's actually one of the first video games I played. Was Mario 64. So
heard that. Yeah, I actually went to go watch it this past Friday with my wife and Malachi, and Malachi is one of those kids that, like, if he sees a word he recognizes on the screen, he'll start spelling it. You know what I mean? So he'll be like exit, EXIT. So there's that, but he's also very in tune with the movie itself. And what I mean by that is that he's only 3 years old before at the end of, towards the end of this year. But with that being said, when something happens, he's not just talking about random stuff all the time. In fact, more times than not, when something happens, he's like, "Whoa, look at Mario," or something like that. So he's like it was really kind of cool to see that this past Saturday. Was he one of the loudest kids that was in the theater? Probably, but he definitely had a great time watching the movie. It wasn't towards the end is when he started kind of getting a little antsy. So I want to say about 95% of the movie he watched all the way through directly, eating his popcorn and having his slushie. So yeah.
Okay.
I did enjoy the movie because I enjoyed it for a couple things. Nostalgic wise, it was a hit. It was a smash hit. Nostalgia wise, content wise, there's a couple things that made me laugh in there for sure. As a movie, I actually didn't think it was the greatest, and I say that because the pacing in between was really fast. And then also on top of that, some of the interactions that was going on was like that's not how you would really react. Like this in this movie. This is like an extremely light spoiler. It's not a spoiler, but it's extremely light spoiler if you consider it this way. So be forewarned. But this is the first time that Princess Peach meets Mario, and the way that they interact is really like, really that's how it is. Like it was just really like lackluster, and I was like, all right, then okay. I mean, it is what it is. That's how they wanted to write it. That's how they wrote it. But yeah, and I would say the voice acting for Peach grew on me. I didn't like it at first. I'm still not the greatest fan of who they have as the voice actress. But it's not bad. It just wasn't my cup of tea. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, that's what she sounds like.
So you would have picked, yeah,
I don't know who I would have picked. I would have to actually like listen to certain voices and stuff like that. I wouldn't want to have a super girly Peach. That's never been my thing. So I wouldn't. I mean, so this if I had to choose
I
a
need
super
a
girly
Peach
Peach,
that's gonna hit you with the umbrella.
I was gonna say, yeah. If I had to choose a super girly Peach over this Peach, I would just choose the Peach that we currently have right now. But I do think though that they could have picked a better voice actress for who they had. I just wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't feeling it towards the beginning, towards the middle, towards the end. It started getting a little better, but yeah. So that's just my little 2 cents. What do I know? It was just one of those things where I just like it didn't pull up my heartstrings at all. I was not like, yeah, that is Peach. Like, no, I wasn't like that. Even for Mario, like I was even more accepting of how Mario sounded versus because it was Chris Pratt. You know what I mean? It was Chris Pratt that was playing as Mario, and so everyone was just like, and you something that you don't entirely think about. And I think Chris Pratt did a fine job. And honestly, when I sit down and think about it, it probably was best that it was Chris Pratt, because just hearing "It's a Mario" like the entire 2 hours probably would have got annoying at some point, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah. I really can't say anything about that. But other than that, if I had to give a rating on the movie, I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10. That's what I would give it. So
Okay.
yeah, but I would encourage you guys to go see it yourselves. Add to those box office numbers and show them to make sure that they're putting out quality video game movies. You know what I mean? As long as you guys keep up the good work, we'll support it. But if you guys put out some trash like the live action Attack on Titan movie, then you'll get canceled faster than cancel culture. So there you have it.
I definitely I can get behind that.
But ladies and gentlemen, that is our story for the day. That is our show for the day. We got nothing else for you guys. So if you guys want some more content, make sure you guys are following us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Just type in ALWT Gaming. There may be a stream this coming Thursday, but that is a big May, which would be between me and Shallon Keys if we do go ahead and just run through Back for Blood, because we still have that stream that's going on. We're down to 1 life on this level. It's 1 life, but I believe it's the last chapter of Act 1. It's the last chapter, which is the longest act out of all 6 acts. So if we get through that, cool. I don't know if we don't get through it. I don't know if we're going to continue streaming it, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, we'll have that discussion later. Right now, we just had to woosah. We didn't want to keep pounding our head inside the wall for where we're at for Back for Blood. So
It's just like Gravity and Hey It's Sad. They're 9-ball on Oolong. Just banging their heads against the wall.
Yeah, it was not nearly as bad. It definitely was not nearly as bad. But yeah, but it is something that we took a small little break from, but we'll be reconvening with that a little bit later. And then, of course, be on the lookout for anything that we have coming up next month, because we are going to be trying to plan a 9 to 5 at one of these Saturdays next month, either the 6th, 13th, well, not the 13th, not the 20th, because that's when I'll be in Jamaica. So it's either 6th, 13th, or 27th, and we'll go from there. But if not, if you guys are not free on Saturdays or anything like that, make sure you guys are considering following us on Facebook and checking out our stuff on Twitch, which is on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/ALWT Gaming. Every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, usually until 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're about 7 minutes early that we're ending, and going from there, having some good stuff, talking about some good video game nerdy stuff. Here we go. Also, lastly, make sure that if you guys have a Twitch Prime account, you guys are considering using your free monthly subscription for our channel. We appreciate it. We have 5 subs right now that's out there, so we appreciate every single one of you guys that use it. It is free, $5 you're wasting otherwise, so make sure you guys are using it for ALWT Gaming. If you're not using it for us, make sure you guys use it for another Twitch streamer. Because again, that is no additional cost to you, and it's something that Twitch does not remind you of. It's not something that Amazon does not remind you of. So we will remind you here at ALWT Gaming because that is free money for another streamer. If nothing else, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. I am Malachi36. This is It's the 9 Ball. This is Mildewy Carrot signing off for the day. See you guys next week. Control Alt
Complete.
Peace.
Love and hair grease.
All that hair grease, baby.